Are you looking for true personal freedom? The freedom to design a life you truly desire? Then you're absolutely in the right place. True personal freedom comes from when you take 100% responsibility and control of your money and your mind. Here, you're going to learn ideas, tips, and wisdom that's going to help you bridge the gap from where you are now to your dream life in the future. My name is Randy Wilson, and welcome to the RichMind podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back to the RichMind podcast. And today, I've got a fantastic guest. I've got Mahealani Trepinski with us here today. And we were just going through all of the different bullet points of the high-level things that she's involved in, and it's super cool. I just know that this conversation is going to be a lot of fun. So Mahealani is from Dallas, Texas. She's a two-time best-selling author. She's an intuitive natural healer and integrative nutrition, health, and life enhancement coach. She specializes in CranioSacral and IASIS, which we're going to get into what those are here as we continue. Her passion is to educate and help bring the body, mind, and soul to homeostasis. I love that word. That's super cool. So once again, we're going to definitely get into all that. But first, Mahealani, I'm so glad we were able to get our calendars to connect. We've been trying to do this now for a little while, and yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So I appreciate you being on the show.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, thank goodness. So let's take a couple minutes and just I gave the high level bullet point type things, right? So maybe just go into a little bit more detail, unpack that a little bit more as far as who you are, where you're from, some of those terms and things I was struggling with to get them out. So anyways, but yeah, anything you feel that everybody would love to hear more about you.
Well, let's see. I'm Hawaiian German. Most people know I'm Hawaiian, but don't know I'm German. I have heal in the middle of my name, and actually did not realize that until I was in my mid-30s and a client pointed it out to me. So I truly believe that I am in my life-given, God-appointed practice. I am definitely a healer, and I love to heal people inside out, mind, body, and soul. So yes, I find all kinds of modalities that I can do to do that and to help people. I want people to be able to live a qualitative life where it's fun and loving without the pain and issues that as we age. So yeah, that's what I do.
A lot of the things I was reading, it's obviously more down the natural path and eliminating a lot of the processed things and just medications and maybe just what would be considered the Western way of thinking. Is that a good way to think about that? More natural?
So I guess I'm more of, well, I wouldn't say Western totally, because Western is all about medications and let's take a pill. I'm all about let's not take the pill and see how we can help heal your body before we take the pill. Because our bodies were designed by a master physician that can heal the body from the inside out. And I truly believe if you do the right modalities, that you'll be able to heal the body inside out without taking that pill. So I always say, hey, I'm not against taking medication, but let's see if we can fix it first without it. And then if you still need it, then let's take it.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get into maybe some examples of things that you've been able to help folks get through different ailments, different issues, right? Maybe getting off medication or at least not even having to take anything or surgery or something like that. That'd be super fun to get into, definitely down the road. Yeah, that'd be great. So let's dive into the 3 questions. These are things that I love to ask the guests to get an idea a little bit more about them, right? Have the audience get to know you a little bit better, but then it also helps me craft some of the questions as we go along through the episode. So the first question is, who's been the biggest influence on your life?
So I would say our Heavenly Father and my husband. Living God's laws, God's way is the best way, in my opinion, to live our lives. As long as we live it the way God has taught us to, as in the Bible, then He will provide the way that our path should go. We just have to be patient and allow Him to do it, which I'm human and I struggle with that at times. My husband, we've been together for 24 years, and just watching his business and ethics. He's a senior VP for a major airline, and he's also a part-time police officer, and he teaches online courses at a couple of colleges. And just watching his work ethic and the way that he has launched himself through life has just been amazing. We are polar opposite people, but he has taught me to be the person I am today. He has calmed me down. He has taught me to think first instead of speak first, which I don't always do. I kind of speak my mind where he doesn't. So he's just been a great role model for me to follow and to become the person I am.
Isn't that amazing? So my wife is, I would consider, polar opposite of myself, meaning when I'm uptight or anxious about something, she's there to support and console and calm down and all of those things. It's just really a beautiful thing that you've been able to find that in your husband, for sure. It sounds like from what I read in a story that he was part of your journey with NLP. Is that correct? As far as he was the one that helped you with learning what that even was?
Oh,
Is that
well,
how I read that?
Not really. I mean, he understands what NLP is and kind of uses it a little bit with his work. But no, I actually learned it through a couple of different other sources. I went to learn NLP from a person that's just, I guess I should say, worldly. And I was like, I don't like how this is going. And he was like, you can manipulate people. And I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. I don't want to do that. So I looked more and I found a Christian version of NLP called Renewing the Mind. And I love it because it takes God, who is my number one mentor, and it takes him to help the other person too. So it's done the right way, not trying to play with somebody's mind. So excellent. Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to get into some of that as well. Cool. Love that first answer. So moving on to step number 2, or question number 2, is what has been the greatest challenge of your life and what have you learned from that?
So I would say I have 2. I was severely dyslexic as a child. I had every single dyslexic issue, which at that time was just dyslexic. It wasn't the numbers one or the graph and all this. So I was just pushed through school. People just pushed me through. Teachers just pushed me through to get me through. And it actually hindered me because I could not do college because I'd have to take all of these remedial courses. So that deterred me. And by the time I got to college, though, I realized, there's other ways that I could help myself. And so that's what took me more down the natural road, and learning all kinds of natural things to do to help with my brain. And now I've even learned something even better, which we'll get into later, is IASIS. And that helps tremendously with dyslexia and a ton of different other things because it's all works with the brain. The other thing would be my son. I got married at a very young age. I was 23, and I'm married a very abusive man. You name the abuse, he did it. And he made me a single mom. He actually left me for someone even younger when I was only married 3 years. And my son was a very strong-willed child, and then had some things happen to him as a child. And just living through that, being a single mom to provide for him and to be able to give him the proper tools to be able to help him. I don't wish single parenthood on anybody. That for me was extremely hard, but it's maybe the person I am today. I'm stronger, and that's why I began speaking, is because I want to be able to help other young adults maybe not get in such a rush to get married, making sure that it's the right person to marry, so that you don't have that sheep in wolf clothing like I did. So, yeah.
So obviously you had something great come out of it, meaning your son. How old is your son?
He's 26 now.
26.
So,
yes. 26-year-old as well.
He is an amazing young man. He was in the Marines, once Marine, always Marine, but he wanted to be a lifer in that, but ended up he almost died when doing a training exercise. So he is out.
While a Marine, training exercise in the Marines, he almost died. Wow.
He is out now. He owns, oh gosh, 4 or 5 rent houses, but he doesn't just rent the house. He rents out the rooms of the house. So, I mean, he's an amazing guy. He's very smart, heavy brained, but I also attribute that to my husband as well. So yes, he's quite the entrepreneur, but also likes to work in corporates. So.
Does he? Okay. Interesting. As I've got 20-year-old-ish children as well, right? So I'm always curious to hear what other folks are dealing or how their kids, right? Because they're at that age where they kind of just transition or are transitioning, right? From, I would call maybe a little bit more controlled environment with school and those kinds of things, and then getting out there in the real world, and then let's see what they're made of, right? Let's see what they can actually do. That's super cool that he's doing so well.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you mentioned the dyslexia. I've never been diagnosed, but I would claim that I probably had that as well. I've never been able to read very well ever. And we're just like when we were talking about reading off your bio and things. It's like I try and I just can't do it. Words on a page, whether just they get all jumbled up. It's one of the most difficult things I've had to try to work through personally as well. As I mentioned, I've never been, diagnosed, quote unquote, but I can definitely sympathize with you saying that and trying to figure out different ways to learn, right? There's so many different ways nowadays to learn. Is that kind of what you've done for yourself as well?
Yes.
You mentioned,
yes.
Is it?
Like when I was in high school, towards the tail end, my senior year, I learned that different colors can actually help. Rose color for me, so I actually had rose colored glasses. I'm just not that way. Reading things with bolder print and not so close to each other is better. Like, don't laugh at me here, but the first book series I ever read that my niece got me into was the Twilight series. But I actually read the whole series because it was spaced for a teen to read. So, yes. But now when I'm really wanting to learn something, I will read it, highlight where I read it, and listen to it audio. So I get the audiobook and the book. If it's something that I really want it to stick in, that's what I do.
Yeah. So audio for me is 100%. That's how I've internalized and learned any topic. I didn't, once again, I didn't know that per se, right? Until I was out trying to figure things out for myself. But yeah, 100%. So if anybody's struggling out there with the reading, young or old, right? The advent of all this audio technology is fantastic. Audiobooks, even podcasts like this, right? That's kind of the whole idea, is to give you an opportunity to watch us, listen to us, and then hopefully learn from us as well. That's super cool.
Thanks.
Definitely. Yeah. So as I mentioned, we talked about a little bit about our 20-year-old children-ish, right? The 20-year-olds. That's where this last third question always comes from, right? My passion is to try to give back to that generation, the ones that are out there just now getting ready to get started or are already on their journey of being started out there in the real world. Just nuggets of wisdom, right? Things that I wish that I tried to share with my kids, but what I've discovered is that we've all have different experiences, different ideas, different things that I just know that if that younger generation could catch hold of, that, who knows, it could be the exact thing that they need at that moment to propel themselves to this life that they can't even fathom or begin to imagine at this time and age. So that's where this third question comes from. So if you could share one thing with your 20-year-old self that you wish you would have known then that you do know now, can you think of anything like that, a nugget of wisdom you wish you would have shared with yourself?
Two things. One, if I would have just put $20 a week aside in like an IRA or something, yes, life would be so much easier. And if I would have, again, being a single parent, you always look at what you don't have and look on more on the negative side, not necessarily saying I was negative. It's just looking on that, like, I don't have this, I need this for this. To be grateful and thankful every single day for everything that I have, even if it's not all that. So that's what I wish I would have done back then, every day. I mean, sure, prayer time and devotional time, you thank God for this, that, and the other. But do you truly thank him for the crap he's putting you through or that Satan's putting you through? I didn't. So, yes, I totally wish I would have had myself say, Mahealani, what are you thankful for today? Are you thankful that you are going through this trial? So, yeah.
So did you pick up on those ideas a lot later in life? Is that something you've picked up more recently, or how long have you been the gratitude exercises and things? How long have you been practicing those?
Okay, don't laugh, but
I'm not
I
gonna
won a
laugh
car with
because it's not
Mary
been.
Kay
Uh, say again. I'm
back.
sorry.
I won a car with Mary Kay back in
Oh,
2020 or 1999. And that was one of the things that they taught was you need to be grateful, and you need to focus on what you do want. You need to manifest it. So learning manifesting then and being grateful for the things that I have then is so. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I did it before the 20th century, or the end of the 19th century, but not on an everyday basis until probably then.
and do you have a practice of doing it now? I assume you
Yes,
have do you have a routine?
yes.
What kind of routine is that? If you don't mind me asking.
So when I wake up and before I go to bed, I thank him for whatever I'm going through in my life. Like right now with the Lyme disease, I thank him for the Lyme disease, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be focusing on the grander and bigger things that I'm doing in my life. That maybe we'll touch on later. Um, that is just, it's just been amazing of this journey. I mean, it sucks. I can't say that I love it because it has actually set me back a ton, but what I'm learning through it has been amazing. So in the morning, I wake up, I say, thank you for this breath. Thank you for me being alive. And then I'll go through my list of whatever negative or positive is going on. And I do the same thing before I go to bed. Everything that's happened that day, and then the things that I'm looking towards the future, or the negative things that are happening in my world, so to speak.
And visualizing, right? Trying to picture this outcome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moving through the challenge and visioning a better outcome, right? Than what you might be able
Yes.
to experience in that moment, right? How important is
Yes.
that in the process for yourself too?
Huge, huge. Well, that's how I won that Mary Kay car. Is I smelt it, I dreamt it, I visualized me driving it. I mean, that's so it's huge. You visualize what you want on a daily basis. The universe, or as I'd like to say, God will provide it. That famous saying, ask and you shall receive, is so true. But you have to do the work. You can't just say, God, I want this, and expect him to go poof. You've got to do the work behind it.
So can you go into that a little bit? Like I said, I would love to dig a little deeper into the doing the work part, right? So The Secret, the movie The Secret came out, Law of Attraction, all those kinds of things, right? And I think a lot of folks just thought or believed that they could just, like you said, almost chant and things would just start falling out of the sky to themselves. And it's like, no, you actually have to do the work, right? You mentioned that you smelt it, you felt it, you had the idea, the vision of exactly the car itself. Can you talk about a little bit about the action it took then to make that come true?
If you want to talk about the Mary Kay card, then I had to do the process of what it took to take that, but I couldn't do it just whenever I wanted. I had to do it every day. Like I just came back from a LifeWave convention this weekend, and they had some amazing speakers there. And not Brian Tracy, who was it? Oh my gosh, my brain just died. See, that's one of the Lyme things that my short-term memory just does not want to work. John Maxwell was there, and he was saying, you need to focus on 5 things every day. I could not agree more with him. The other thing he said was, if you take an axe and you go chop 5 things at a tree and you do that every day, eventually that tree is going to fall down. But if you take that same axe, you chop 5 times on one tree one day. Oh, and I've got this other tree over here. Let me go do that one. Oh, wait a minute. There's another tree I need to go to. You're not going to get it. So you got to focus on one at a time. Which sometimes is hard for me because I am one of those. There's another thing. So I just have to learn, how bad do you want it? What is your intention? What is your goal? And what do you want to do? Okay, I'm just going to spill the beans here. I said I was going to do it later, but like my main goal right now is when I stayed at a I stayed at a healing center in Florida for 3 months last year for the Lyme. And I actually almost died there because of things that happened. But I learned a tremendous amount of things to do. Well, I've always wanted to have a retreat center for people. Well, now I want to have a retreat center plus a healing center all in one. So I am working step by step of what I need to do to make this reality come to pass, because this type of thing is going to be a multi-million-dollar endeavor. But I truly believe with the passion and the right steps, cutting those 5 things at a time a day, it will happen. So that's what I'm working on now. Is we're looking for the land. I'd like it in wine country in Texas. We're in the process of that. I'm in the process of working with SCORE with a business plan, because I've never written a multi-million-dollar business plan. I mean, I've written small ones for when I had my spa. So I'm in that process. And then I just know that with good faith and good fortune with God, it'll happen. So yes, that's my main thing that I'm working on.
I love that. I love that. So staying focused on one goal or a major goal, right? Major purpose, right? Will then keep leading you to taking the 5 steps needed to chop down that tree. I love those visuals that you're throwing out there, right? So the idea is that you're not, I think folks feel like they're stuck in a box, right? That they don't have many options or opportunities out there. But I would argue that opportunities are all over the place if you can just stay open-minded.
Yes.
And be willing to learn, right? You might need to pivot and change maybe your current circumstances or certain situations, but at the same time, so it's easy once you jump out in this entrepreneurial world and you start like, wow, it's like scatterbrain. There's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity. And you're just all over the place. And so it's hard sometimes to stay focused on something, but it sounds like you've really found the thing that's going to propel you for a very long time, it sounds like.
Yeah, I would like that to be my legacy and what I leave my children. Because I want to heal the world. I want to heal whoever wants to come and heal. They may not have a physical element, but they could have a mental element, or they just might want to come and relax. Like, how many pastors do you know that are constantly helping their flock, so to speak, their congregation, and then their marriage might suffer? Well, I want to be able to have the opportunity to offer that pastor and his wife to come out and relax at this healing center for the weekend for free, just to reconnect their marriage and reconnect their spark and just rejuvenate. So yes, I that's my vision, that's my passion, and that's what I'm going for.
So would it be considered more of a charity, or is it going to be more of a for-profit organization?
Both. So the clinic with the doctors and the healing will all be for profit. The retreat part will be for profit. I'll have all kinds of different modalities to do. I'll have a full-blown spa, horses. I hope to be on water. I'm looking for a place with water. That'll all be profit. But remember, I said I was a single parent and a battered woman when I was married before. So my nonprofit to this is to have other single parents and battered women to be able to live on property, have a job. But in order to live there and have a job, they have to go through counseling. So I want to have counselors on staff as well to be able to help guide these men and women to be able to get out of that situation that they're living in and be able to rise above so they can do what their God-given talent is.
This is a big project.
Yes.
Big project. Yes. So one thing I talk about a lot on this podcast and in other episodes is your associations, the people that you're associated with, to be able to help you, right? I think a lot of times folks, once again, they're in this box thinking that they have to do it all on their own, right? They've got to be the one out there chopping the wood, so to speak, right? But then having the right people in place, you're talking about doctors and therapists, and I assume you're finding the land and you needed to structure the deal and all. Can you talk about so I think folks a lot of times will get self-imposed limitations, right? They don't even think that they can begin thinking that big, right? You've got this big vision.
Did.
Yeah.
I never did. I have to actually give that credit to Kyle Wilson's group. I met Kyle. When did I meet Kyle? When I went to James Malinchak. I met him and his girlfriend on the beach in Kauai. And that's where I met him. And that he invited me to go to his seminar. And I met Kyle there. So that was, gosh, I can't even remember how long ago, 5 years ago. And just being part of his amazing mastermind group has actually shifted my thinking to be able to think this big. Before that, I did not see how on earth that this would be able to be possible. So between Kyle's group and Kyle and God, I now know I can do this. And if anybody's watching this and you have a lot of self-limiting things and think you can't do this, trust me, you can do this. You just have to change your way of thinking and change your mind.
Love that. So appreciate you saying that, because that's been my experience as well. So the changing the inner world, right? What's going on in our mind and our thoughts and our beliefs and our patterns and all of those things, which I'm sure you can probably give things a little bit more technical terms, but that's just kind of the words that come out of me when I think about it. Completely control our outside environment. That's been my experience, right? So as I continue to focus on me and what's going on inside of myself, right, with my thoughts and ideas, my outside environment, the people I associate with, the opportunities that arise, all those things seem to be getting better and better all the time, right? Hence, having conversations like this in the middle of the day on a Monday, which is a beautiful thing. You just never know what those opportunities and those chance encounters, but stepping into it, right? And understanding the importance of controlling that inner battle as far as how that can really impact and change your outside world as well.
Definitely. It's huge. I mean, I grew up thinking I'm stupid. I grew up thinking I had teachers tell me I'm stupid. My own father actually said that I would not amount to anything. And I mean, because I couldn't speak well when I was a kid, because the words would come out mangled, and my brain wouldn't work the correct way. And so when you're told that for 17, 18 years of your life, you tend to believe it. So it's, again, shifting the brain, shifting your mind, getting rid of those negative thoughts, and getting your thought patterns to believe you can achieve whatever you believe. So if you have a dream, well, let's make it come true, because it can come true. It's all about the proper goal setting. It's all about the steps you've got the goal. Now let's get the steps down to fix that goal and make it happen. So that's all what it's about.
Yeah, just keeping it super simple, right? It's not going to be easy all the time, but at the same time, trying to keep it as simple as you possibly can.
Exactly.
So the gratitude practice you mentioned is a super simple practice, but having the discipline to stay doing it consistently every day, all day, whenever you have an opportunity, that's what's considered the quote unquote the hard part. But at the same time, it's all super simple too. That's super cool. I love that. I'm going to remember the whole chopping five cuts on a tree, right, with an axe. I love that. I love that. I'm going to use that.
Well, I got to give it back to John.
Well,
John.
But that's where these guys and gals, right, that are out there speaking,
Yes.
and that's those nuggets of wisdom is what can really help people in challenging times. And that's super cool. I appreciate you sharing that with us here on the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned about challenges, and I'm not sure how much you're willing to talk about the challenges you've had over this last year as far as the Lyme disease. I honestly, if you were the first person I've ever been associated with that's had it. So I've kind of learned through your journey a little bit. And once again, details aren't needed, but as far as can you talk about how that has impacted and shaped your coming through, right? Exploring this big vision. I just want to, talk about some of the challenges, how those challenges have impacted your current situation, right? But the current situation is what's going to impact this big vision that you've got for this big place that's going to impact potentially hundreds of thousands, millions of people. You never know, right? That's super
what
cool.
I pray for. That's what I pray for.
Awesome.
Well, Lyme literally took me down, and it killed my business, because last year this time I was bedridden. I couldn't work. As a matter of fact, my husband wants me to file disability just because some days I still can't really function. That center did not heal me, but they have given me the tools to be able to help heal me. Lyme is a funny thing. It's hard to diagnose because nobody's Lyme's the same, because you're going to have all kinds of co-infections that go with the Lyme, which is the crazy thing. And that's why it's so hard to diagnose. I mean, I met with tons, probably 12 different doctors before I was actually diagnosed with Lyme. And it really shattered my world, to be honest with you. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you have stripped me. What on earth do you really want me to do? God actually gave me that retreat center when my son was about 2 in my heart. And I'm like, that'll never happen. Because remember, I was a single parent then and not always positive. But then when I went to this center, I mean, and I put that on the way, way back burner. It was not even on a burner. And when I went to this center, I'm like, you know what? They need counselors here because people with chronic illness might have in the back, well, I did, have in the back of their mind, I'm not going to get healed. I'm going to be struggling with this forever. They need pastors, in my opinion, because you need to keep your spirits high. You need to have God be your healer. And they, in my opinion, you needed much more than what that center offered. Now, I loved everything that they offered, and I think they're doing a great job for the most part, but I think I can do it a little better. I'm going to take all the tools that I learned there and bring my God and my Savior into this practice because he's the one that brought it to me. So I believe if he brought it to me, he's going to make it happen. So my goal is to impact other people's lives. Like you said, I would love to have millions, if not billions, come through the center even after I'm gone. I want this to be a legacy where people can come and just have a retreat, get up back on fire for the Lord. Or if they're struggling from any kind of illness, be able to help tackle it in the holistic way. Now we'll have medical doctors there too, but it's going to be a focus of holistic.
And it won't necessarily be a specialization in any one type of illness. It'll be more broad, I assume.
A little bit. I mean, I'd like to have Lyme for sure, but then all the co-infections that go with Lyme are huge. I mean, there's tons. Epstein-Barr. See, now my brain's not going to allow me to start spitting them all off, but there's tons. I mean, if you research Lyme, you're going to see a whole massive list of co-infections that go along with it. I'd like to possibly do cancer because in my own practice, I have helped reverse people's cancers. Just by eating properly and eliminating a lot of things in their life from physically and mentally and what they're eating. So, yes, I mean, I truly believe it's a God mind, and mind, body, soul connection. It's not just one thing.
That's fantastic. So
does that answer that question?
Yeah, it did. It did. I love that. Yeah, you did. You did great. And you're doing great. So thank you for showing up and sharing so much value. So the idea then, or the question I've got then is, can you maybe share with some of the folks that are listening to us today, some of those, I don't want to say simple because simple just makes it sound basic, right? Or simple, but basic maybe might be the better word. Some of the things that people can do to start taking back control as far as they're using the food that they're eating, right? The environment that they're in. Is there anything that you typically see with your current clients that you have come through your processes and systems? Like some basic things that folks can take action on, like immediately start seeing some impact. And some
definitely. So our world, I mean, I truly believe our government wants to kill us with our food. I mean, look at it. Now they're putting an enzyme on the food that I think has the C word in it. What's that all about? All the processed crap that they're sticking in our food. You go to Europe, you won't have that processed crap going into your food. So I truly believe, this is my conspiracy theory, is that our government is trying to make us sick, trying to kill us. And first, stop eating processed foods. Limit your sugars and your carb intake. Nobody drinks enough. Well, I can't say nobody. Not a lot of people drink enough water a day. Constantly have a water, and if you have a water with you, and if you do it with a straw, you're going to drink more water a day. Good rule of thumb is take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces you should drink a day. Now, if you're an athlete or you sweat a lot or you go do any kind of body work or sit in saunas, you need to drink a little bit more than that. Watch what you're eating on. Believe it or not, when you're cooking in your own pans, you could be eating your pans. So I strongly recommend people not to eat anything with that the coating on the pan.
Teflon is the word that's going on.
Yes,
Is that right? Teflon coating?
yes. If you actually look at Dark Waters, it's a movie called Dark Waters. There was a lawsuit on Teflon because that actually was made for the military. And once you ingest it, your body can't process it. So it does nothing but cause harm. So watch what you're eating. People think that even eating out of cast iron is good. Actually, cast iron, you're getting frivolous oils and you're getting iron that will steal your real natural iron. People think, oh, cast iron's good because I'm getting iron. No, it's stealing your iron. So eat out of a pan that will not leach into your food, or eat out of stainless steel to where you can go get that metal out of your body by doing a metal cleanse. Do that. Again, meditate, journal. If you're not a journaling person, then voice it. Do it in a voice recorder. Get it out of your being. Get it out of your energy and your mind. You want to resonate your energy higher so you're not stuck down in the gunk. So that can be done daily, and that should be done daily. If you're a spoken word person, speak it. I mean, look at God. He said, let there be light, and there was light. He spoke it into fruition, and we can do that. We just have to do it, like John said, 5 times a day on that same tree. And once you do that, your life is going to be better. You're going to feel better. You're going to probably lose some weight if you're eating no preservatives and low sugars. How did you just cut the sugar out? Sugar feeds all kinds of negative. So.
Do you believe in any sweeteners at all? Out of curiosity, is there any honey?
Honey, cane sugar. If I have to use a sweetener, that's what I use. But
not the stevias and sucralose and those types of things. No,
I don't agree with them, but I'm to each his own.
No, but I'm just right for folks that are listening, right? So eliminating, and that's right. Yeah. So eliminating even those as well, I guess. So it's even the people are,
because each one of those things is made from a certain something. And most of the time there's other stuff put into them that aren't good for the body. That again, it'll go into your body and pile up until you get rid of it, if you can get rid of it.
So let's just say me. I've been for almost 50 years piling up all kinds of junk, all kinds of stuff. And I would assume there are, you eliminate these things, your body will start flushing them out, I assume. But are there different specific things that people can do to try to get themselves rid of some of these toxins and
you'll need to.
Just
eliminating it's not going to get rid of it out of your body. You need to detox it. So if you can go sit in a far infrared sauna, because a far infrared medical grade sauna will go to your cellular level and help sweat it out. I'm not talking like a sauna at the gym. I'm talking a pure medical grade sauna that goes to your cellular level. That's one thing. You can do activated charcoal at night before you go to bed, after about an hour to an hour and a half after you've taken your vitamins, because that will help get rid of and eliminate the crud so you sit it in the sauna and you've got all of these things trying to get out. Well, what couldn't get out in your sweat, now you need something else to help get it out. And that's where the activated charcoal comes in. They could do spirulina. They can do seaweed. There's many different other things that you can do to help rid your body of it. Plus, those things are great for the brain. They help energize the brain. They help open up the channels in the brain. That's great for the blood. I mean, I could just keep going on. You're right on my hot spot here. I could go on for hours.
That's the goal.
So, yes, detoxification is really great. But you got to watch which detoxes you do. Because not all detoxes are the same. Some may claim, like if you go on Amazon, oh, this will do this and that and the other. Well, what also is it doing? So you have to make sure that you're doing an organic and a clean detox. So that's where I would get with someone in my coaching practice, and we can eliminate the good things and the bad things, and I can tell them what to do. But there's also certain foods that you can eat that will help eliminate things, but also certain foods that you can eat can help boost your vitality. So, I mean, like for a man, if you were to eat 5 servings of some type of tomato a day, stewed tomato or just grape tomatoes or even ketchup. I don't recommend that. It's too much sugar. But
How about the no sugar added? But that's where I got all the other junk in
kind
there.
of ketchup I use is the no sugar added.
Yeah,
but that will help your prostate. That will help keep
really?
it. Yes. So 5 servings of stewed tomatoes is the best because it lets out the lipocene. Yes, I can talk. For women and their breasts, if they were to eat 5 servings of or anything orange, so carrots, sweet potatoes, orange peppers, bell
I was
peppers.
thinking bell peppers. Yeah,
that will help with the breasts. I mean, there's tons of stuff. I mean, we could talk all day about different other things that you could eat that could help with the body.
but that's why I wanted to have you on, because I knew you were an expert in this field. This is where this is super cool. So one thing you mentioned, and this is out of my ignorance because I'm just not familiar with it 100%, but I think you said activated charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you talk? I'm not familiar as far as the detox process.
Well,
I'm not
it is
familiar
a charcoal that your body can. It'll aid your body in getting rid of the negative in your body.
So you ingest it, right? That's the part. Maybe you ingest. Okay.
Pill form. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So most everything that I recommend, well, no, I can't say that because I recommend a lot of food because the course that I took was food for medicinal values. One of the courses that I've taken, I've gotten my integrative nutrition from IIN, and then I went to another school to get my clinical nutrition. And then I learned from David Wolf to have the medicinal value. So there's many different things. I mean, there's a lot of good pills out there that you could use for supplements that I could go into when I'm coaching someone. But there's tons. I mean, sky's the limit. I mean, God made our bodies to heal naturally, and he made food and other things in our earth to help that. The only problem now, at least in the United States, is that a lot of our things is getting contaminated. So you have to watch where you get your food, where you're getting your supplements, because our soil is not like it was back in the day, especially now that they're putting crap in our food, pesticides in our food. The coating that I just heard that actually has some C word in it that I will not get into because I'm sure people that's a whole another story there. But yes, I mean, it's absolutely crazy what they're doing to our food these days. So you have to watch where you go, where you're shopping, and where you're getting your food from.
So is it literally just paying attention, literally the source of where it's coming from, whether it's a local farm or, I mean, if someone is only shopping in stores, is it a matter of just reading labels closer? Is that what it is? Just reading the back of the label a little closer?
My good rule of thumb, and when I'm talking to a client, is if you can't understand what you're reading when you're reading the ingredients, put it back on the shelf. You don't really want to get a lot of box stuff either, because it's loaded with sodium and it's loaded with pesticides and preservatives. That's the word I was looking for. And all kinds of crap. So no, you have to, I mean, even that ketchup bottle that we were just talking about. Why do they need to put corn syrup? Corn syrup does nothing good in your body.
I love corn syrup.
Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup is horrible. Horrible. It feeds cancers. It feeds any kind of illness. Why? Why does that need to be put in our food? Why? Yeah, so no, if you want to live a healthier life, if you want to drop a lot of weight, you need to do 90 days at least, well, actually, I tell people a little more than that. To actually get over a hump for most people, it is anywhere from 90 days to 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Once you eliminate all that, your body is going to go through a natural cleansing, a natural healing. Like if someone came to me with cancer, I'd put them on a plant-based diet. And I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with that, but let me tell you from my experience. One of the things that they found at that healing center that I went to last year is polyps in my colon and 3 or 4 different worms in my gut. I was on a plant-based diet for about 9 months, went in for a colonoscopy, and they were all gone. All of them. I have started letting things back into my diet some. I consider myself, I guess, mainly plant-based, but I'll eat eggs. Oh, I had to have my eggs back. And I'll eat seafood because that's my heritage. I had to have my seafood back, but I don't eat it all the time. You know, I still don't really want any other meat. I definitely do not want any dairy or gluten. If the person would cut out dairy and gluten, their sinuses will get better. Their gut will heal and get better. You will drop weight. You will feel better. Brain fog will go away. Depression and anxiety will get better. Your sleep will get better. I mean, I could go on for hours. I love this subject.
I love that. That's awesome. So that's great. I appreciate you sharing so much so far. That's awesome. But I know a big passion of yours now is this IASIS.
Oh,
yeah. Let's go into that.
So what is IASIS? IASIS is
IASIS?
electric neural feedback. And anybody that has a brain, it can help. I learned this when I was at the center, and it is absolutely amazing. I have personally have some clients right now that are twin little boys, and they had issues at birth. And one of them has high anxiety to where it literally pulls out his hair where he has bald spots. The other one did not poop for like 2 months at a time, or if they're not sleeping well and they're always bouncing and always like this. Well, we've done so far, you need to do about 10 to 12 sessions to really, really see anything. I mean, but you could see something after one session. These children are now pooping on a regular basis, just about every day. They're a little more calm. He is not pulling out his hair as much. We have a long ways to go, but I'm seeing huge benefits. From when I thought I was going to die from the thrombosis, I got a little PTSD. After 3 sessions, my PTSD was gone. What else have I seen? I've read tons of articles of autistic children, military people that have major PTSD and years of counseling. Well, with 6 to 12 IASIS sessions, pretty much gone. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, sky's the limit. It's helping my daughter with dyslexia. It's helping her be able to bring her brain back into homeostasis. It helps with sleep. It helps with, anything neurologically that your body does, it can make better. It can bring you back into homeostasis. And all it is, think of it as an EKG for the heart. It's an EKG for the brain. I stick electrodes here, 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 and on the back of the neck. And that's it. You feel nothing. I mean, you can see it going like an EKG. You feel nothing, but better afterwards. It's an amazing treatment that I wish I learned years ago.
And is it something that plays through your phone, or is it like
No, I have to actually physically be with you. I have to actually put them on you.
In a specific place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's waves, sound waves, or
no? It's electric. It's
electric waves.
Electric neural feedback. So the leads, just like an EKG, checks your heart. It's actually bringing in energy into your brain, into the nervous system. So
how long does a session typically last?
So if you have a chronic condition or a chronic something, I will microdose you, which takes 5 to 10 seconds each session.
5 to 10 seconds? Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Seconds. Wow. Okay.
Seconds.
I was expecting you to say minutes and you said seconds.
No, seconds.
Wow.
If you are someone that, you're pretty good, there's not really nothing going on, you just want to feel better, maybe sleep better or whatever, then it could last up to about 5 to 10 minutes. Just depends what's going on with your body. So the first session is about 45 minutes to an hour, but that's because I have to ask you a lot of intense questions. I need to see if your body is in any kind of chronic situation or not. So yeah, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I just wish I learned it a lot sooner because it can help with, anything: autism, dyslexia, PTSD, anxiety, depression, going to the bathroom, you name it. Anything neurological. And let me guess, that's our whole body, because your body cannot happen without the neurological system. So yes, you name it. I've even seen athletes heal faster with this treatment. So, and it makes their whatever their activity they're doing even better because their muscles are working in a homeostasis pattern. It's amazing. The healing after a surgery, the healing and how it goes faster. It's can't tell I love it, can you?
No, I can't tell at all, which is just, I've got questions just popping all over my brain and just trying to learn even more about it. So I assume it has to be by licensed professional might not be the right term, but as far as somebody that's been practiced or
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
You have
Okay.
to go through a certification, but you also have to. So if you're, you have to either have to be with a doctor or some type of licensed practitioner. If you're not that, then you'll have someone that will oversee you, and then you can get the certification. It's an amazing thing. I
love it. I love I love it. The passion is that's cool. That's fun to watch you talk about that. So then another question I have is, you mentioned that it will help solve a lot of these neurological issues, traumas, things of that sort. You mentioned that at the beginning, they'll go through about a 45-minute session to kind of, I guess, bring out some of what those traumas and issues are within their own mind. So when they then come back after that, the 5-second to 10-second versus the 5 to 10 minutes, do they come to you and say, okay, I'm having an issue with this, and then sit down to do the exercise? Or is it literally they're just kind of sitting with themselves with the electrodes on their, I'm just trying to visualize and get an idea of kind of the process.
So I can send you a video, or anybody that's interested, I can send you a video and how it works. But it even helps with pain. It minimizes my pain with Lyme. I have chronic pain that some days it's horrible. But it also helps with pain. And so when I'm with you one-on-one, that first session, we're going to find about 10 to 15 things that you're wanting to work on, whether it be better sleep, whether it be take away pain, whether it be a counseling issue or PTS issue or depression, whatever it is, learning disability. I could go on and on and on and on because the list is miles. We pick about 10 to 15 things that we're going to work on first. It'll take about 10 to 12 sessions unless you're microdosed. If you're microdosed, it's going to take more. But a normal, to get rid of something that someone doesn't have major chronic, it could take 10 to 12 sessions. Then you're going to go twice a week is ideal, but at least once a week. If you can't get into your practitioner, at least once a week to really see this work. So you're going to do that. Then you'll go PRN, which is as needed. So maybe it's once a month, maybe it's twice a month, whatever is going on. If you have something that just like have some anxiety about a test coming up or an event you're going to or whatever, you might want to come in and just get a treatment then just to help ease you through that. But that's basically it. Just seeing the things that it does and how it's helped people is just like, oh, that's right up my alley. It helps bring your vibration higher. Your energetic vibration. Everybody has energy, whether you believe it or not. Our bodies are made up of energy. And so this helps with that. It helps keep your vibration energy higher. So therefore you can heal better. your brain is in a more positive state, and your body is working more in a homeostasis pattern, which is the way that God made us.
Love it. Love it. So I knew this conversation was going to be a ton of fun and a ton of value. I'm learning, just the questions I'm asking. I'm sure folks are out there listening and having questions of themselves, right? Or question for themselves. This information, it might be readily available on the internet, but talk to somebody with experience and talking to somebody with your ability to help coach and teach and get people the results that they're looking for in their life. That's super exciting. And I appreciate your ability to come on and just help us try to learn different ways of being, right? And how we can take those things and really propel ourselves to a life that, wow, we just don't even really can believe that it's even possible today. So, yeah. So as we start to bring this episode in for a landing, this has been super fun. I appreciate you being willing to jump on with us here today. So if folks are out there saying, okay, all these, I need to get Mahealani on my team. I need to find out how to get her to show me all of these different techniques and different things to do to try to help them feel better, look better, be better, energy levels, the whole 9 yards. What are some of those places for folks to get to know you a little bit better and to possibly get a hold of you?
I have a website. It's healingmasters.net. You can see part of it on my screen. It's healingmasters with an S. It's .net. Feel free to call me or email me. Email is mahealani@healingmasters.net. Or give me a holler. I don't know. Did you want me to say my phone number?
That's totally up to you. If you feel comfortable doing that.
Sure. You can give me a call or text me. Texting is a little bit better at first, and then we can jump on a call. But it's 469-215-0075. Again, it's 469-215-0075. I would love to talk to you or anybody out there that has questions about anything I've mentioned today. All I want is for you to feel better, feel the way God intended you to be, and to live your best life.
Love it. So folks, go out there, connect with Mahealani. As she said, her right in the middle of her name. If you're watching this on video, you can see it. She has heal in the middle of her name. That's super cool. You pointed that out to me, right? And I know you said was pointed out to you in your life as well. And that's super cool that you've taken this journey of helping folks feel better, look better, do better, and taking some of the challenges that we talked about earlier in this part of this episode. And you're really taking them to a point where you're going to be impacting millions of people. You even mentioned billions of people, and that's super cool as a legacy. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today and sharing your wisdom with everybody here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So folks, go out there, get connected with Mahealani and try the techniques that she's talking about even on this episode. I'm going to start, I'm going to rewatch, re-listen, right? I'm sitting here going through the exercise of being the interviewer, right? But at the same time, I'm trying to learn right along with you. Take some time, review some of the things she said, and get in connection with her. Learn more about different ways. There are so many different ways these days to really get yourself connected in a much better way to the earth, to energy, to getting yourself feeling better, looking better, and doing better out there in the world. So hopefully you found value in this episode today, and I look forward to bringing you the next guest very soon. So until then, have a great day now. We'll talk soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining me on the RichMind podcast. I hope you found a ton of value in this episode. If so, I'd really appreciate a 5-star review, and you can also share it with your family and friends. And as my mentor Jim Rohn shared with me, in order to have more, you must first become more. And in order to become more, you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So go out there today and work harder on yourself to become more and build the life of your dreams. Until next time, my friends.